factors as the match unfolds. Stephen Clark is the referee.
I'll tell you one thing that the Broncos have shown, Rabs, and that's the way that numbers should be on the backs of jerseys. Very easy to pick out the players.
So it's the Broncos in a uniform that is quite strange to us, running from left to right, and this is Craig Hancock getting the first touch for Manly, back inside his own 20-metre line. Jeff Tuvey coming away from a position that most people think he will occupy for the Australian side on Sunday night. A mousetrap in the third tackle of the night for John Hopewadi, and Brisbane, it would seem, well educated and waiting for it as Hopewadi is forced back, and the penalty goes to Manly. Left arm in the air from Clark. And there's some fisticuffs back outside the field of play. Inside the 10, Brisbane. Manly will get a chance to take a kick at goal. Nothing said apparently about the altercation off the field of play. A very good chance early, just like they had against Canberra. Tierney, 3 metres from the line, towards the grandstand side of the ground, western side. From Tuvey, field, a juggle, and away, an inside ball. Menzies taken out, not in possession. And then Brisbane obligingly knocking on, but the ball was propelled forward, and it would be a Brisbane loose head and feed.
So this might have almost come off the Brisbane player's knee without any hands involved, Kevin Walters, but it won't matter because they will get the scrum feed. And I think from that decision from Manly not to kick for goal, it shows that they believe that they've got to score quite a few points tonight to beat Brisbane. Paul pointed out earlier that they're only averaging 12 in matches this season. You'd think they've probably got to score more than that to beat the Bronx.
This consultation between touch judge and the centre man is to do with that scuffle in amongst the television cables a couple of minutes ago. Let's go down to this.
Come here, listen, they're going to watch you. Hey, hang on, I haven't finished yet, come back. They're going to be watching you, you cut the rubbish out, all right?
Oh, this can't be a penalty, surely. That's
well,
ridiculous.
He's going that way.
Absolutely ridiculous. No harm done whatsoever there.
I can't imagine why he's giving the penalty down there if it's to do with the incident I'm referring to. It's a good 25 metres further up the ground, so something else must have happened. Apparently Smith got involved in a fisticuff in the next play. Here's Tierney. As we take our attention back to the Manly attack, was Sidaris letting a decoy run before Craig Field is put down under the Brisbane defence. 3 metres out from the line. Craig Hancock, they work the blind side. Sidaris with a switch of play. Menzies! He'll get it over the line. Forced down by Brisbane defence. Seemed unstoppable from that position. Now Field, a floater, away from Taylor. Nicely done by the big fellow. Hancock is tackled. And this is tackle 5. Manly seemed as though they were in for the first points of the game as Field goes to the air. The jump is on for Wendell Sailor. Shallow in goal area. Manly's Hopewadi puts the hand on the ball, and Steve Clark wants the video referee. Let's have a listen to what he's got to say.
Just check that John Hopewadi got enough downward pressure on it.
So obviously the scoreboard is broken down, or should I say the indicator that says yes or no. Now this was Darren Smith.
Well, if the touch judge has come on for that,
he's going to be a busy man.
He is fair dinkum 100% kidding. And I'm just wondering whether Wendell Sailor should have had a free catch at this football. Oh, no, he didn't leave until late.
Tierney. He's 15 metres away from the Brisbane line. Manly already in front by 4 points to 0. Taylor. Sidaris looking to the right, and then taking a couple of steps before Gartner, and then Hill got a mongrel of a pass. Put away by Renoff with Kevin Walters. Tuvey then to the blind side. And now Kosef channels back in on the angle, but the Brisbane defence is solid. Kevin Walters in combination with Andrew G, and then Tuvey. 2 decoys before Field, and then a scurry by Field. Carries him just inside the 10-metre line on 5, and Tuvey looks away to the left and finds Sidaris. A little kick came off the feet of Langer, and referee Stephen Clark is going to put a scrum down, indicating that it'll be a Brisbane loose head and feed.
Well, we must have found a knock on here from Craig Hancock in the end. Charged down by Langer. And yes, Hank Hancock knocked it on there. But they look sharp, Manly. They showed improved form last. What are you looking at me for?
Oh, I'm just wondering if you're going to make it yourself.
Mate, I should be home in bed, but you know, soldier on.
Kim's probably happy you're not.
Well, there's the time in possession, and the tackle count is another obvious indicator of the start of this match. 42 tackles to 6 made by the Seagulls.
Sailor and Hopewadi exchanging anything other than pleasantries in back play. I'll leave you to keep an eye on that, Paul, as Walters uses Tallis. 35 away now from the Brisbane line. 4-0 Manly. And Darren Smith in the familiar headgear, both centres for Brisbane. In the headgear, which probably has been made more famous by the little Max from Canberra last Sunday. Now, let's go to him.
Listen, I'm told, nothing, stand up, John. Not a lot in it, just a lot of rubbish, all right? Cut it out, there's no need for that sort of stuff. If you want me to get involved in the game more than you want me to, if you keep up with that sort of stuff, I'll have to, all right? Up to you, blokes, just cool.
See, I really don't understand why the game is stopped for that. There was nothing in it, as the referee pointed out, and it's just an unnecessary stoppage in my book.
Brisbane then with the tap. Down on the Manly 20-metre line. Webke and thumped into the ground by Tierney. He's had an explosive start to the game, Tierney. Now, G. Taken down by Koseff. Got some help there from Gardner. Centre of the ground, 15 metres away from the line. John Plath using up a tackle. Misunderstanding in the Brisbane attack. Langer across. Walters steps. Tallis is with him. And then taken by a bombardment of Manly defence. This is what Manly have got to do. They've got to get back to their old defensive form. Kevin Walters taken down by Jeff Tuvey. 2 metres from the line now. Hancock into the hands of Langer for the kick across the ground. And it's gone absolutely straight across. It came off Sailor. It went forward, and the advantage applies to Manly's Hopewadi. 4-0, 11.5 minutes gone. A try for Manly, scored by that man, John Hopewadi. Manly with 1 win in 5 weeks. Brisbane unbeaten. At the moment, time in opposition half. 100% in favour of Manly. Sedaris flicking it up confidently to Terry Hill. But then again, I probably don't have to dwell on that because Sedaris is a hooker. He is a dummy half. He knows his craft. He's been schooled in that area, but his name won't be in the Australian side. Tuvey to Hunter. Hunter stepping and doing well, getting it to within 5 metres of the halfway line. Penalty goes to Manly as Sedaris appeals for a penalty against the defence holding down.
And it's a poor penalty to give Brisbane late in the tackle count. Good work from Manly. They are playing very confidently. I know they've had all the football. But they're doing well with it. Plenty of support players. The fifth line's yet to be injected. All the interchange players were up, stretching, warming up, getting ready for action. But Craig Field with fine touch. 35 out, 6 tackles in hand.
Crowd is only ordinary at Brookvale. Of course, Brisbane. Oh, that's good tackling. Taylor upended on the end of a Tallis and G tackle. Now Koseff. He got the ball on the ad line, but was met by the defence at the same time, and Manly gets another penalty as Brisbane rake the ball out. 2 men involved in the tackle. No doubt about that. And he's ruled that Kevin Walters has taken it in a 2-man tackle. There's no doubt in my mind he's right, the referee.
2 in there, you know what the penalty was for, right? There was 2 in that tackle. There was miles too many penalties, your blokes. Either you start settling them down. If I got to keep giving penalties, I run out of patience and then a bloke goes to the can, all right? Get in there here, Alan.
So now Manly set it up again. An attacking raid for Taylor.
He's going to stop running at Tallis shortly.
Now for Tuvey and then Koseff. Koseff, centre of the ground, defies the opposition to put him away. Tuvey off the ground, away for Tierney. Tierney quite outstanding for Manly in the opening exchanges. Sadaris back on the right. Tuvey pushing it along the line. Field runs to the defence. Hill comes back in. Hancock. Oh, a jolting tackle by Webke. Then Tuvey. Now Gartner crosses the 10. Pulled down. Brisbane's defence seems to be handling them. 5 tackles gone. Sadaris for Tuvey again. Then for Field. He puts the kick in to put some variation amongst it. And Hancock is there to mark it about 7 metres out from his line in the eastern corner.
That is great defence there from the Brisbane side. A sloppy pass now, but Manly put on about 3 or 4 very good plays there. Some planned moves, and Brisbane were there every time.
Look so confident in their defence, though, Peter Sterling.
Well, a penalty coming here for Neil Tierney, getting involved in a tackle as a strong hit from Shane Webke illustrates what Ray is talking about. To be a champion in any sport, you've got to have great defence, and Brisbane have shown that over the last couple of seasons, that they really have improved in that area. And I think that is as much a strength now as their attack is.
So Bob Fulton giving Taylor and Tierney first use of the interchange bench. This is Andrew G. 16 is out there for Manly. That is Damien Brown in the first instance, and 17 is there with him, Adam Peters. Well, he's changed the front row after 15 minutes of the game. 40 metres now, out from the Manly line. John Plath in the run-on side again for Brisbane. This is Steve Renoff. Tackle 5. 47-metre gain for Brisbane on 5 tackles. Langer, a grubbing kick, looking for the regather or another kick on it. He wasn't held in the tackle. It's play on. Renoff is with it now. Got a pass away, knocked forward by Manly, or knocked forward by Brisbane. Then it came off Manly. But he'll, I think, rule that it was propelled forward by the Brisbane player. Watching it on the replay, there's no drama there. He wasn't held. He passed off the ground. And then Renoff, he got it away before he actually touched the ground. Then it came off a Manly player, and he's ruled Brisbane's loose head and feed. Walters. Now, Webke. Manly with 3 and 4 men involved in the defence. John Platt. Walters. And now Lockyer. Came off Renoff, advantage Tuvey for Manly.
Well, it was on because Renoff was on the outside of his opposing player, but the punch was just a fraction too hard. Damien Brown, a former Souths winger, now playing in the front row for Manly, takes it up. Here's the ball, very hard pass, bullet-like pass. Terry Hill was there anyway, had him covered. The penalties in this match, 6-2 at the moment in favour of Manly. In the first round, the clash there up in Brisbane. Brisbane won the penalty 16-6, so a big turnaround there.
Of course, that was the match that was marred by the after-match publicity surrounding referee Bill Harrigan, Manly captain Jeff Tuvey and Bob Fulton, who probably didn't stop for too long to analyse the performance of Brisbane, nor the performance of Manly. But that seems to be well behind us now as Platt makes another run out from dummy half, and then Darren Smith does the same to the 40-metre line. Bob Fulton would, I would imagine, during the week be talking about Manly's inability to keep Canberra away from an 18-point lead at the break last Sunday. In other words, the puerile defence in the second half. Plenty of work would have been done. The combination of Langer and Walters now evident. To the Manly 20-metre line. Langer again, ball in his hands a lot of times. High kick for Saylor, but underneath it is Torrens. Good work by Albert Torrens. Now Hopewadi comes away. Saylor's got him on the hurdy-gurdy. Torrens there quickly, and then Field. And now for Gartner. And Gartner put down just inside the 20-metre line. Now it is Kosef. I keep being amazed, or not so much amazed, I'm It's so intriguing what the selectors are going to do on Sunday night, particularly with the back row. They have got an absolute wealth of talent to work from. Lockyer, away, the bounce of the ball, 4 times. Manly have got the ball on the Brisbane 40-metre line and put it down to Albert Torrens. Tierney, field, Tuvey. Then, second man play, Menzies. They draw Hancock in. Hunter! To the 10-metre line. Hancock's a dummy half. Quick play, the ball will help. Tuvey. Brisbane on the back foot. This will test their defence. Field pops it away for Kosev, then for Hopewadi. Hopewadi tries to put the fend on, but he's put away. 8 metres out from the Brisbane line. Sedaris for Kosev, and then for Taylor. Taylor one-on-one against Campion. The pass goes back and away from Sedaris, Tierney, field. Then across the face of Gartner for Tuvey. Tuvey for Hill. Hill tried to hold it back. Hunter is pulled down a metre from the line. Terry Hill, a dummy half. A floating pass, finding Tuvey. He looks to turn it back on the inside. 5 gone, 9 metres out from the Brisbane line. Manly leading by 4 as Tierney unloads for Craig Field and across for Nick Kosev. Kosev tries to beat them himself. The ball comes out and Lockyer comes away for Brisbane.
A couple of try-saving tackles made in that set of 6, firstly by Kevin Walters and then by Michael Hancock on the far side. But I do think one of the passes, if it had found Nick Kosev close to the line, I don't think they would have been able to stop him as Gordon Tallett takes it over the 20-metre line. Looked like Hunter had beaten Hancock, but he hung on, looking to reach out.
Out on the 30-metre line, Brisbane's end of the ground. John Platt playing it back for his 5/8, Kevin Walters, to unload, and Lockyer to kick, to clear on an early tackle. And Hunter gets this ball after it plugged in front of Craig Hancock. Back 38 metres out from his own line. Hancock using Gartner, and Daniel pulled down by a much smaller Alan Langer. Will he get the number 7 jumper? Will Andrew Johns have the number 7 jumper? That's another question that the selectors have to answer. Will Jeff Tuvey have the number 9, or will Andrew Johns have the number 9? This is Tierney now. 4 points to 0 Manly, 21 minutes gone. And a try for John Hopewadi. Now Craig Field puts on a sprint, uses Menzies, who had it, lost it, and got it back in again. Penalty goes to Manly. Stephen Clark is going to use the sin bin. Gordon Tallis, first user of the sin bin tonight.
And we heard the referee talk about his patience before, and it's finally run out. One too many infringements. Gordon Tallis makes the tackle on Menzies. Just watch him, grabs the ankle, and Stephen Clark says off you go for 10.
And normally that would not be enough for a sin bin, but it's repeated infringements against the Brisbane side. Clark saying that they've told Alan Langer that there were too many penalties against his side. Taylor takes the ball forward. Strong chance here.
Tuvey, chance for Manly. Tierney rolled over by the Brisbane defence of Langer and Plath. Now Sedaris, a dummy to the player going left. Field then for Terry Hill. Terry Hill's over. Manly are in for their second try. Nice work by Craig Field. I think everybody would love to see him have a big part in this game.
Manly are doing very well getting players in motion. A lot of decoy runners, second man plays. Although this time you've got to say that Terry Hill has done it with brute strength, but they were back on their heels, the defenders. He has carried Tony Carroll and Kevin Walters over, so it's a great effort from Terry Hill here, their leading try scorer from last year.
Yeah, brute strength gets Terry over. Neither player got him around the legs to stop his motion. They tackled him around the waist. His legs kept going, and they couldn't wrap the ball up either. So well done by Terry Hill. And Manly they've had all the ball, we know that, but they still look pretty good.
And of course, the Manly centre, the number 4, he's looking for that job alongside Steve Renouf, I guess. Most people have got Steve Renouf in the team. His 50th first-grade try for Manly, Terry Hill.
They're both Terry Hill and Steve Menzies, who probably a little bit forgotten when it comes to naming of rep sides. They've really featured very prominently in the opening 20 minutes of this game. Sometimes the last impression you make on selectors is the one that sticks in their mind.
15 metres in from the eastern touchline. 18 metres out, and he's hit it beautifully. Craig Field converts. Manly's second try. They lead 10-0 after 23 minutes. And a big welcome again to our viewers through Sky in New Zealand. As Darren Lockyer restarts again. Manly with 2 tries. Terry Hill racking up his half-century of tries for the Manly club. Sedaris, oh gee, Taylor was running alongside him like he was riding shotgun in a Western movie. And the last thing he thought of was, maybe this man will give me the football. You can't do that. Brad Thorne. And Taylor will be hoping now that they don't let Brisbane in. So will Sedaris, I suppose. Brisbane's number 16 is Carroll. They're 10 metres out from the line. Langer on for the 15. Philip Lee. Platt again to the right. Lockyer back to the left. And takes 2 and 3 defenders out of it. Langer. Walters. Ooh, desperate stuff from Craig Hancock. Last tackle. Lockyer. Lee. Lockyer again. And Smith. He obviously didn't get a touch on it. It's gone way back for Menzies to pick up the advantage for Manly. High fives all round. Hopewadi to the halfway line. Will they go on with it, Manly, tonight? Put a similar score together against Canberra. Somebody said they were speedy squibs after the Canberra performance. Can they go the distance tonight? Hancock. 10-0, 26th minute gone. 2 tries to Manly. A glut of possession and the best of penalties. They're playing against 12 at the moment. Plath plays it back. Smith gives it off. Saylor runs it, angles it across his own 40-metre line.
Steve Roach, a glut of possession against the Broncos, but even when they've got the football, not controlling.
Well, I really feel that they've got to go back to the basics, the Brisbane Broncos side. Just get a couple of their sets of 6 completed. That's what they're not doing. They're just handing the ball over and making it easy for Manly.
G, Plath, Langer, then Lee. And he crosses the 30. He's put down 25 away from the Manly line for Plath. He was going to give it to Walters, but Walters overran the ad line. 5 tackles gone, 15 metres out. Walters is on a run-around mission with Langer. Langer kicks it back, and that's been marked in goal. It'll come out with the 20 for Hancock. Big day tomorrow on the 9 Network again as we watch this replay. We'll go to that just to tell you what's happening tomorrow, but Hancock easy. And now Manly with a big surge down the right flank. And Hunter's away. He's got heaps of speed. He's over the line. Manly gets their 3rd try. Clippy Lyons. He applauds from the bench. They applaud from the hill. Manly have put 3 tries back-to-back against Brisbane.
And a very soft one here against Brisbane. Terry Hill getting on the outside of Michael Hancock. And look at this attempted tackle from Tony Carroll. A shocker on Andrew Hunter. He's a speedster. Darren Lockyer, I don't think he expected to have to chase because he thought the tackles would be made out wide. But really, to get an overlap from a set play, it's unforgivable by the Brisbane defence.
And I'll tell you what happened, Peter. Some poor defence there from Steve Renoff, who just simply came in from his position out wide as a centre and gave Manly the overlap. The veteran applauds. He can play this, Andrew Hunter. Plenty of speed and finish it off nicely.
Andrew Hunter brought into the side to replace Jamie Oljanik. And we thought the theory for that with Bozo's thoughts was that he's a bigger winger, and in a contest with Hancock and Saylor, he'd be better suited to it. Well, he showed blistering speed. I'm trying to recall the match when we saw a similar try from him last year down that right flank. Now Craig Field is keeping company with the cameramen on the eastern touchline, 21 metres out. Beautiful night in Sydney. A little rain earlier, but temperatures very comfortable. And Craig Field looking to regain form. He's doing all right so far. Hits it. Got it okay, but not coming around enough. So the scoreboard remains unchanged after 28 minutes. But Manly, 3 tries to nil, leading 14 to nil. Lockyer. And now Brown. Campion went in awkwardly.
And hasn't Gordon Tallis' 10 minutes in the sin bin cost Brisbane 2 tries while he's been off to the Manly team?
Peters. Tuvey. Scurries away. 35 from his own line. Sedaris. And now Peters again. Brisbane feeling the effects of the penalty count, feeling the effects of the sin bin. Gordon Tallis shortly to come back. Lockyer smothered away by the defence of Craig Field and Terry Hill.
Great chase there from Manly, and the enthusiasm in the kick chase really is an indication of how the side's going. Manly, they're in great spirits at the moment. As Paul pointed out, they have been aided on a couple of occasions by some poor decisions in defence. Steve Renouf has made a couple of bad choices in coming in, but Manly are getting troops out there running at him, forcing him into that mistake.
This is Carroll. Menzies is in trouble with that left forearm. Campion. Just under a minute now for Gordon Tallis to give Brisbane back their full complement, and they get the penalty this time.
Oh, they were going to kick too. It was last tackle. To take the quick tap instead, Darren Lockyer. Short ball to Kevin Walters. Takes it inside 40. Steve Menzies still working his way back into position. In fact, he's leaving the field. Cliff Lyons will be in shortly.
Saylor beating Hopewadi. Got away from Torrens. Was taken down by Sedaris. Brisbane 17 as John Driscoll, formerly the permanent hooker for the Brisbane side. Carroll's just inside the 20-metre line for Brisbane. They're in the centre of the park. Langer turning it in. Webke losing it. Hancock. Sedaris. Just watching the Manly captain in back play. He's taken a long time to get up. Made a tackle. And he might have gone in awkwardly, but he's okay. He's back on his feet as Kosef gets it outside the 30. There's Menzies in the company of Nathan Gibbs, the Manly and Australian doctor. Sedaris. This is how it happened to Steve Menzies. He went in there, and then the Brisbane player tackled, fell on his forearm. Tinney. Hopewadi. Lyons. Field. Hill's waiting. The kick is down the ground for Hunter to chase, but Brisbane's Lockyer is back there. Well-weighted kick, and Lockyer's been smashed by Hill. Oh, that's a great chase by the centre for Manly. He's having a superb game, Terry Hill.
Isn't he just? And it was perfect execution by Manly on the last tackle. Cliff Lyons had a bit of pressure coming through, so they had the option a little bit wider with Craig Field. This is a tremendous kick because, as we pointed out, not much of an area to aim for, but he's got it to stop inside the dead ball line. And when Lockyer picked it up, he was confronted by a rampaging Hill.
It's a pretty mean Hill, a rampaging Hill. But Peter's right, he's having an outstanding game, Terry Hill. There's little doubt in my mind that he knows that Sunday night is a very important one in his career. Taylor, I thought he might have taken a swinging arm, but the referee said play on. Tierney playing his match again spasmodically for Manly.
Well, Gordon Tallis tried to pick up that loose ball. He knocked on in doing so, giving another 6 to Manly.
Manly, 3 tries. Brisbane yet to score. 14-0. Kosseff's going for the corner. He's over the line for another Manly try. That's number 4. Oh, the Eagles. Can they keep going?
Well, the bookmakers have reacted. They've wound out the price on the Brisbane Broncos, and Manly have all of a sudden come back in quite dramatically. You'll see out wide, again a mistake made. So he frees it there. This player, Steve Renouf, is the man I think that Manly have targeted. He's the try scorer, and as he comes to the line and play continues, the dummy is thrown. Steve Renouf half looking at the outside man as well, but he didn't have to. Kosseff had to be his man.
Tonight's the night for the Eagles. Everything going their way, and they've really lifted. They've been under all sorts of fire from the media, from their own fans even. But tonight, so showing some great character. And Nick Kosseff is a happy boy.
It's Billy Moore.
The funny part about it, he danced over to the touch judge looking for applause. But in fact, he was looking to the Hill crowd, which responded to this Australian representative, Nick Kosseff. Rolls the sleeves up, he gets the job done. Never turns in a bad game. And he's put it over the line for Manly's 4th try.
It's a long way from Cobar, isn't it? We've pointed out on a couple of occasions in the opening month that really, in the down times for Manly, he's been one player whose performance really hasn't dwindled. There's some criticism that he was involved in a couple of things that changed the game last week against Canberra. No way was it anywhere near his fault.
Craig Fields had some fairly difficult kicks at goal. None more difficult than that. Just offline. 18-0. 34th minute. This is how the try came. The old dummy, the 1-2 from Kosseff. Hill was there, taking some heat off the number 13. But Kosseff gets number 4 for Manly.
And you've also got to say that Kevin Campion didn't read that particularly well. There's Terry telling the opposition how many tries they've scored.
Steve Roach, what's the latest on Steve Menzies? There seems to be a cluster of people around him.
Yeah, jarred elbow for Steve Menzies. He's getting strapped up now. He wants to be part of this.
And of course, Ray, Manly did lead by 18 points last week.
Tuvey, Tierney, Torrens. Peter mentioning that Nick Kosseff, and here he is with the ball, and then Gardner, one player that doesn't have to hang the head in the light of Manly's poor start to the season. I'll tell you another bloke that doesn't have to either, and he's not in the team tonight, is Luke Phillips. And if they are to win, then I think one of my first thoughts will be towards Luke Phillips, because he's been very, very, very solid, very good right through the 5 weeks so far. Now it's Saylor. Webke. Menzies not far from coming back into the game, apparently. This is Driscoll. And Plath is on the field at the same time. Tallis now with a strong run. A Manly player, his head went jolting back. It was Cliff Lyons. Driscoll again starting to make inroads out from dummy half as the half draws on. Stamina comes into its own. And dummy half running becomes a feature. Hunter, who scored a try, cleaning up for Manly. They're back on their own line. Now it's Hancock's turn. I meant to mention, or I was about to mention, when Manly scored a try tomorrow, of course, the big coverage of Sydney Cup Day, AJC Oaks Day. It starts at 11:30 tomorrow with the racing show. John Tapp, Ken Callender, Simon, they're all there tomorrow, 11:30. Then we take you right. Now, Kosseff again tries to step off his right foot. This time Andrew G and Brad Thorne bring him to a halt. The pass goes across. I think Field thought about a drop goal. Then Hill. Hunter gets his second try. That's Manly's number 5. Oh! Manly are having an absolute picnic against Brisbane.
Missed tackles, well, almost 3-1 against the Broncos, and that's why we see the scoreline that we have.
And some great stats for the Manly players in particular. You see down the bottom there, Neil Tierney, 22 involvements by him. He's nearly been their best forward, maybe even their best player. But Nick Cossip up the front, 13 tackles and plenty of quality hit-ups and some offloads as well. So the Brisbane side will have some high tackling counts here. G and Campion working very hard along with Brad Thorne.
With a tackle count in total of 140 as against 98, somebody for Brisbane has to be making high tackle counts, and that's exactly what's been required of their forward.
And of course throw in the fact that Brisbane are on the wrong end of an 8-3 penalty count as well. It's all one-way traffic.
Yep.
So Stephen Clark blowing time on second half, and Manly with a commanding lead. Can they hang on to it today? Sailor comes away with a vigorous run. He's cut down by Tierney and Tuvey, and Platt uses the blind side again with Shane Webke this time. Tuvey hanging on, eventually pulled down by Sidaris, who's worked hard for Manly tonight.
Right,
that is Campion.
The mood that Manly are in, they won't be looking to hang on. They'll be looking to extend the lead.
Darren Lockyer up in the line, pushing the kick down into the corner, nicely placed. Hancock with work to do, coming out of the corner. And Hunter almost got himself into a situation of obstruction. And we're going to see a line drop out here. Referee ruling in favour of Brisbane's Kevin Walters.
Let's just have a look if the momentum continued in this tackle. Hancock taking the football. He gets tackled at 3 metres out. And then almost to go to ground, and that tackle was fine. The ball was in the in-goal area.
Craig Field, his dropout not very long. It's going to give Brisbane a great opportunity. Hancock put down on tackle 1, 28 metres out, as Platt drives it to the right of the ground. G on the second. Centralising play, 22 metres out, John Platt, and then Langer. Second man play, Lockyer up into the back line. Smith uses the angle for Sailor. Sailor is taken. Walters gets it on. Langer's with it, pushes it wide. Bouncing once, picked up on the half volley by Renault. Renault down to the 20-metre line. Third tackle from memory. And then Langer using Thorne. Thorne taking it back, wedging it back towards the centre. The fourth has come and gone. Langer up the centre. Webke's with him. That's 5. Menzies and Sidaris the tacklers. Platt, Langer, Langer, then Walters, Sailor. Sailor comes to Torrens, gets rid of him, puts the ball on the line, but the touchy has got the flag up.
Oh, great effort all the same from Wendell Sailor. He had nowhere to go. He finally weaved a passage, disposed of one, couldn't get rid of Hopewadi. Looks like his legs were dragged over before he got the ball down.
So Manly bringing it away from their 10-metre line with Jim Sidaris. Let's go to the sideline, Steve. What can you tell us?
Yeah, well, Brisbane's Wayne Bennett said, let's have a little bit of help for each other, and especially for our wingers on the high ball. He said, force passes, there's no need. We didn't have the football for long periods of time. He said it will turn around. He said don't play the scoreboard. While Manly's coach Bob Fulton was very happy, he said be positive, we can take them on, rip in. He said only our mistakes coming out of our own end is letting them into the game. He said clean that part of our game up. He said kick chase, make Brisbane play off their own line.
You see the contact, Cole?
Well, Brad Thorne has been called out by referee Stephen Clark for this tackle.
Stand up, all right. Stand up, another high shot. Okay, I'm going to put this on report because I wasn't sure exactly where he got him. I knew it was high, but I wasn't sure exactly where he got him. So it's on report, that one. You get him down.
There's some feeling in this game. Jeff Tuvey scooting out of dummy half. Left arm hit there. Been placed on report. A little bit of a dust-up in the previous play too between Steve Renouf and Terry Hill. Terry Hill not particularly happy with Steve Renouf's involvement in the tackle.
I had to laugh, really. There were 3 or 4 players on top of Terry Hill trying to put him on the ground, and he didn't like Renouf's attempt to put him down. And Terry, in typical Terry Hill fashion, he never stopped talking at the same time. He was getting battered from all over the place.
I'm not changing.
I think we've got a shot of it. Here's Terry. 1, 2, 3. Renoff comes again, gets him with the right. And Terry's got all sorts of trouble, but watch him.
Let me out of this, I'll give it to you.
Chalk underwater.
If I live to fight again, I'll give it to you, boy.
Oh, God bless you.
He's not short of a word. Anyway, it's Sedaris now. Then Tuvey. Tierney running at Langer. And they've done that a bit tonight. They've run it at the small players, the halves, trying to drain them. Kosef holding it back. Gartner running at Darren Smith. They're 12 metres out from the line. Kosef, Tuvey, Field had to go up high to take it. An angle by Menzies. Menzies put away by Tallis over the top. And coming out of it injured as Webke. Tuvey to the 10. Sedaris switching it. Field pushing it across. Kosef an angle. Gartner. And he's put down 10 metres out on 5. Manly by 22 points. 5 minutes gone second half. Craig Field to the air. A judicious kick. The jump is on. It came off a Brisbane foot. And I don't think Andrew Hunter's got it across the line. Not initially anyway. And the turnover is applied, I think.
Doug, can you just check to see whether that ball was a double movement over the line or whether he got it over okay?
Well, after they consult the video replay, it will show that it is indeed a double movement. It will either be a penalty to Brisbane or they just get the football from a changeover. But there's no way knowing that Andrew Hunter gets the football over. It's on the ground there. And it doesn't even get to the line.
Well, I don't know that he's guilty of a double movement.
But that's what the referee has asked.
Yeah, I understand that.
Is the board
I'm just
working?
saying that it looks like a legitimate tackle. I can't see there's an infringement on Hunter to be applied here.
Not working?
But there's certainly no try. The board is not working, so we'll stay with Stephen Clark.
Okay. Penalty. Okay. Rightio.
He's given a penalty. Yeah, we'll see.
Well, that's a bad decision. $1 million to 1 a double movement.
$1 million to 1. Yeah. Well, here he is. How the name
He's
of hell
held
they
there.
classify that as a double movement, I'll never know.
It's the last motion there that takes the ball over the line that he's ruled against.
In the first half about trying to referee the game, he doesn't. I don't need his opinion on that, on those tries. I'll make my decision. Let him play. Let him play football. Okay. Yeah. What he said. Okay. Okay.
This is not
Don't
related,
even
by the
put
way.
yourself in a danger. Right.
Yeah. The video referee has told the referee, Stephen Clark, that it's a double movement, and that's what he's penalised on. That incident with Craig Field was for him trying to referee the referee and the touch judge. But I'm blowed if I think it was a double movement. I can't place any blame on Hunter at all. Here's Brisbane now back to the 20-metre line. Still trailing 22 points to 0. Manly with a disallowed try. Brisbane with a disallowed try. So there's plenty of action, isn't there, in that department, even if it has been turned down by officialdom. Now G. Gartner making the tackle. Menzies with an assist. His left arm heavily taped after he jarred it badly in the first half. Langer's kick bouncing up for Hancock. Oh, gee, here's a chance for Brisbane if they can capitalise. Darren Smith is pulled down 13 metres out from the Manly line. Craig Hancock taken in a strong tackle. Tallis on the first tackle because Darren Smith would have been a 0 tackle. This is the second now. Langer and Thorne, it didn't look like it was that organised to me. It wasn't, and Manly come away with it. Bad play by Brisbane. This is Taylor.
Well, Brisbane are a team that have never liked to be bustled, and Manly have bustled them out of it tonight. Up in their face defence, very strong defence, and they've got no runners and nowhere to go.
Sedaris loves to be a runner as opposed to dummy half work. 13-6, the missed tackles. Brisbane on the wrong side of that statistic. Tierney 7 metres into Brisbane's area. Tuvey Tierney's got his hand in the air. He wants relief as Field puts a kick down the ground. Saylor coming away from the 10-metre line. Manly, as Paul said, they're right up in Brisbane's face. Thorne. I once remember Warren Ryan, who had a very good record with Balmain against Brisbane, making the comment that Brisbane loved attacking your line, but they didn't like bringing it off their own line. Tallis, of course, is a new Brisbane face since those days. He doesn't mind what he's asked to do. He loves his work. Lockyer, Saylor now trying to run over the top of it. Lockyer stayed alive on the right of the ground. Langer's in support on the inside. Langer comes back in looking for Renouf. He's overrun the flight of it. Hancock is with it. And now Hancock goes back to the right of the ground before being put down by Tuvey. 12 metres out from the line. Plath running to the right, to the blind side. Lockyer puts the kick in. They look to be onside, the Brisbane Chasers. It came off Tallis down to Manly's Hancock. Hancock saving for Manly.
Well, probably Brisbane's best attacking raid so far, but the most impressive thing was, as the bomb was defused by Manly, when Michael Hancock got the ball off Alan Langer, the whole Manly team had got back between him and the try line. So their scrambling was superb.
22 points to nil. Kosef with a good run. His head went back. There's a penalty coming. It might be another report job for Campion. Or is it Tallis? Busy night for Stephen Clark. Let's go to him. He set him off. Gordon Tallis set off. Well, the dreams of Gordon Tallis, playing for Australia in a unified side next weekend, have been shattered, it would appear. One doesn't like to preempt what the judgment will be for Gordon Tallis, but he's come into this game tonight with a great chance of filling one of the back row jobs for next Friday. He has been sent off 10 minutes into the second half.
Well, I think he's been hard done by.
Yeah, I've got grave reservations about it being a send-off offence.
It was a high tackle, but it wasn't a swinging arm. And, you know, Manly will win this game anyway, whether he's there or not. And I don't think he deserved to be sent off.
So Brisbane reduced to 12 players for the last 30 minutes of this game. Manly will lift even further now. Already 5 tries to nil, 22 to nil, and Tuvey pulled down by Renouf on the Brisbane 30-metre line. Sidaris straight up the centre. Rain starting to come down at Brookvale. 5 tackles gone. Field. Kosef knocks on. The scrum will form with Brisbane's loose head and feed back on their own 20-metre line. Another shot of the send-off offence. He's got Kosef just under the chin.
No, I think that's... Well, I'm pretty sure the referee has acted on the touch judge's report, who must have said that he's just connected flush, but I can't run with that.
Darren Smith. Well, this will take the effort of a champion side to get out of it. We know that Brisbane are that. They've won 3 grand finals, but with 12 men playing Manly at Brookvale, as I said, it would need a miracle performance. And there's nothing out there to suggest that they're about to perform it even with 13 players, let alone 12. 12 minutes into the second half, Torrens brings it out to the 20. He does better than that. He's walked away from 2 tackles. Good effort by the Manly number 5.
Well, he looked very good when he came off the interchange bench against Brisbane in the opening game of the season, and not surprised to see that he forced his way into the starting lineup within a matter of weeks.
Manly go on next weekend to play South Sydney as Gardner tries to make a break. And Brisbane, of course, they've got a big assignment. At ANZ Stadium next Sunday, they take on the North Sydney Bears. Terry Hill has had a boomer of a night, and a good ball for Craig Field. Puts it on the boot, but Hancock will clean it for Brisbane.
Oh, Terry. Hasn't he just given it to Steve Renouf tonight as Lockyer tries something? Bumped him off there. A great run from Terry Hill. He's put his hand up. Steve Renouf, it's been said, will get one Australian centre spot, and Terry is saying, well, I want the other. Whooshka.
To the 40-metre line. Of course, next Friday night, we go to Ericsson Stadium in Auckland for the test match, the Visa test match. I'm sorry, North Harbour Stadium is the venue as Walters gets a pass away and Saylor is with it back on the halfway line. North Harbour Stadium, my apologies, for the Visa test. Game 1, New Zealand versus Australia. You'll see it at 8:30 at the normal Friday night telecast time. Torrens, rain starting to drive down now as Manly drive down on Brisbane. Paul Vorton used the description, they're having a party. Don't know that Brisbane are about to rain on the party either. Look at this man, Brown. Then bump away. The ball comes down and it's Gardner with it now. Walters is there. Just a little hint of lifting, but they put him down gentle. Campion and Walters. Tuvey using Tierney to the 40-metre line. Brisbane's end of the ground. Clark getting Brisbane back the 10. They're playing with 12. Unbeaten coming into the match. Kosev. They had a whopping win last weekend against the North Queensland Cowboys. And Manly, of course, going down by 6 points to Canberra. 7 days. It's a long time, isn't it, in rugby league? The fortunes of clubs and players after 5 rounds, that's how they came into it. Manly at 17th, Brisbane at number 1. Driscoll is back for Brisbane. Saylor decides to take a forward play. And that's what he's got to do more and more of, Wendell. That pass to Walters was forward, blatantly forward. Now Renouf. We haven't seen much of this in the match tonight. Renouf put away about 8 metres into Manly's territory. Now Hancock.
And 6 again, signalled by the referee, so the ball must have been touched in that juggling act by Steve Renouf.
Good line off to the right for Brisbane. Langer playing close to the ruck. Philip Lee smashed down by Menzies over the top of Sidaris. And Langer again keeping this wrap going to the right. Puts the dummy on, turns it on the inside. That's Carroll. 2 metres from the line. Lockyer. Langer again. Got himself in position. Philip Lee turns it in. Walters turned away.
Well, they just need quick passes to the left.
Langer does that. Lee decides to try and do it himself. Stephen Clark right over the top of it. He would have been better advised to give the pass. Then from Driscoll on the last. Lockyer, Langer, Saylor. Saylor puts a little kick in, but with that in goal so narrow, he had little or no hope. At the 56th minute, Manly 22, Brisbane yet to score. And the 20-metre drop, or the 20-metre tap restart, sees Hopewadi with a big run. 9 around Australia with Friday Night Rugby League. Taylor, Manly, 5 tries to 0. Sidaris getting quick play the ball. Tierney relishing that. 38 metres off the Brisbane line now. Kosev picked up a try early. Tuvey instrumental in taking Manly around the park. 33 metres off the Brisbane line now. Gardner scooping it away. Menzies injured in the first half. And that's tackle 5 and a 54-metre gain for Manly on that series of tackles. Now Field grabbing a kick in. Hunter's coming at it for his 3rd try, but he's denied. 58th minute coming up. Craig Field has been there almost uninterrupted tonight.
He only got 4 minutes on the field last week against Canberra, but he's had a great game tonight. running to the line, using all his skills to try and get through this Brisbane team.
Manly's biggest win over Brisbane was back in 1991, 26-0. It was the year that Penrith won the comp. And Brisbane were to win it the next 2 years in a row, but Manly in 1991 beat them 26 points to nil. Here we are with Manly now, just outside the 20-metre line, in front of even though it's raining now, in front of a disappointing crowd. Plenty of space on the hill as the match kicked off. Tuvey Ward! Gee, I thought he was going to reach out and put it over the line. Andrew G with a desperate tackle. Craig Field. Then it's Gartner, big and hard, gets it over, slams it down. Clark says, I'll take a look at it.
I think he dropped that.
So Manly are in line for try number 6. But Stephen Clark is going to use the video referee again.
And Stephen Clark said to the video ref, I think he dropped it. Daniel Gartner thinks he scored it. And that's a try.
Yeah, I don't think there's any problem here.
Awful defence again from Brisbane there. And no doubt at all that Daniel Gartner scores this try. Dead set puts it down. But really they opened up very easily once again. Darren Lockyer stayed on the line. The outside defender for Brisbane moved up, and the gap presented, it almost invited Daniel Gartner to run into it.
Look, Darren Lockyer's a fine player. I think he's an outstanding rugby league player, but he can't do the things at fullback that Robbie O'Davis can do, and that's why I think Robbie O will be the Australian fullback come Sunday night.
Yes.
Robbie has saved so many tries over the years.
Okay. Okay. Is it going to the board? Is it going to the board? Okay.
What's he saying?
Well, he's saying no try.
Okay. Rightio.
The semaphore is not working.
Right. No try. Over the line. Lost the ball.
Turn. Yeah, Dick, I can't believe 2 of the judgments here tonight involving the video referee. Goodness gracious me.
Is that downward pressure, reps?
Oh, well, what's it? Well, of course it's downward pressure. I understand your question, mate, but goodness gracious me, you don't have to have the thing in your hands to force it. Even if you had it wedged like he did with it, his forearms were acting like a pair of forceps. That's downward pressure.
Well, the thing was he had control of the football when he put it down, and then it bobbled out, but he'd actually put the football down. There's no drama at all.
Well, that and the ruling on Andrew Hunter's double movement, I mean, they have left me absolutely speechless tonight. This is Walker. Walker with a good run, turns it on the inside. Now, was that tackle on Darren Smith made on a player not in possession? The referee is not interested in that.
It's great defence from John Hopewadi. Nice run from Walker, slices through. And a good pass. Great tackle.
Yeah, no, that's fine. And you've got to praise John Hopewadi there, because he was actually the outside player on the break made by Walker. So he stayed alive and headed back in field to come up with that.
Let me also point out that Darren Smith had coughed up possession before Hopewadi's tackle anyway. Good work by the much criticised John Hopewadi. We will break for a moment, be back in a moment. 22-0, Manly. '59th minute. Manly playing with 12 at the moment. Craig Field indisposed. It's cramped up completely, the Manly number 7. And just repeating that Brisbane has been reduced to 12 men since the 50th minute, when Gordon Tallis was sent from the field. Daniel Gartner pulled down in the tackle of Andrew G. Field, and his kick sees Hunter going down the right touchline, but the ball bouncing across that line. 2 tries for this young man, Andrew Hunter. Craig Field, I think they'll be getting Cliff Lyons out there pretty quickly. He's been cramped up now for some time. 1 hour of the game gone. Manly with 5 tries and 2 denied. Lyons coming on. Craig Field off. Sunday we go to Penrith. That match, the home side against St George. And we'll see that at our telecast time. The full match replay at 4 o'clock on Sunday. Penrith versus St George. And you Penrith fans, gee.
Stand up, inside.
They really,
inside me. Inside.
they really would love to see you get there and support them. Beaten by Balmain, but prior to that, their form was good. They'd love to have your support, and they've done plenty up there, Mark Levy. And the board to try and make admittance prices reasonable, so try and get there Sunday for Penrith and St George. We'll televise it for you at 4 o'clock. Renoff, 33 metres out from the Brisbane line. Brisbane in an impossible position, you would think. This is Philip Lee, Brisbane's number 15. And that looks like Kevin Campion, or is it Driscoll? Driscoll it is, to the halfway line. Langer. And now Walker. He's a smart stepper, and really, since he's come on, he's problemed Manly. Lockyer on the boot, no knock on. This is the last tackle, and Hancock eventually cleaning up for Manly. I thought the pass from Walker might have been forward onto the leg of Renoff.
Lockyer in trouble too after that. He's down on his knees as Tuvey gets out of dummy half off his own line and finds Terry Hill. But Darren Lockyer looks straight to the bench, and he's leaving the field.
Well, this is what happened to Darren. It was an ankle-tapping tackle, and then he appeared to fall awkwardly on that right ankle.
We're actually leaving him on the field to see if he can run it out. I'll keep an eye on him. It's Cliff Lyons. Kicks it straight to Wendell Saylor, although the ball bounces. Now Lockyer's now coming off as Saylor gets through the first line, but taken low by Steve Menzies.
One of the few times that Manly have been really opened up there by Saylor. Walker did it down the right flank earlier, only about 3 or 4 minutes ago. Darren Smith playing it, and then away for Carroll, and then Walker. Walker on for Lee. Lee looking on his inside. He heard the call of John Platt. They're on the 20-metre line, Brisbane, looking for their first try. Hancock. Walker. Platt. Tackled by Brown. Brown hanging on. Now, Andrew G. nowhere to go. Decides to do it himself. Just inside the 10. From Driscoll for Langer. Langer trying to generate something. Walker, a catch and pass. Hancock's pass for Plath. Plath back for Langer. Langer will put it over the strike. Brisbane get the ball over for the first time tonight, legitimately. 22 points to 4.
And the kind of try that Brisbane are always capable of scoring. Last tackle, deciding to run the football, keeping the ball alive. Nice pick up from Michael Hancock on the half volley. He gets it to Plath, who sets sail, and Alan Langer that close to the line. Impossible to stop Craig Hancock. Did his best, but too little, too late.
Yeah, they've worked very hard for this try, but in this Brisbane side, they've really lifted since 2 players have come onto the field, they being Ben Walker and Philip Lee. These 2 youngsters have added a lot of thrust to the Brisbane side. I think they're putting their hand up to Wayne Bennett and saying, what about a bit more game time, looking for a start maybe in the run-on team. They're both fine young players.
Well, Alan Langer. No stranger to scoring tries, but tonight it's been a frustrating pastime for Brisbane. Trailing 5 tries to 1 now. Walker's kick offline. No improvement for Brisbane. 22 to 4. And Langer was the man really getting it going, and then it was left to him after Hancock and Plath kept it alive. The little number 7 was over the line. In front of 13,194 tonight. And that try, incidentally, was Langer's 7th try in 6 games. So he's averaging just a touch better than 1 per match. President's Cup tonight is between Sydney City and Manly, and the Roosters defeated the Eagles 30 points to 10. Playing a match concurrently over at the Sydney Football Stadium, the Roosters and they had a commanding lead earlier on the match. Earlier on at about half-time. Big lead. Now Thorne. So what have we got here? 66 minutes gone. And they're trailing by 18 with 14 to go. Driscoll. Inroads starting to be found, playing with 12. Langer. Darren Smith. Carroll coming in. But plenty of yards there for Brisbane. Walker. Renoff. Walker again. Langer. Platt pushing it off. Lee. Langer. Platt will get it again. No. Steps away from him. Langer. They've made tremendous inroads on 5 tackles. Walker. Floating pass. Sailor. Big, strong. Looks for the line and doesn't make it. Great defence, and Terry Hill, he took Renoff earlier. Now he's been there to save a try for Wendell Sailor.
He got some key help from Andrew Hunter as well. Sailor looked like he was going to force his way over, but Hunter actually, well, they fell on top of him. Really, Terry Hill had done all the work beforehand, and he loves the game, doesn't he, Terry?
Damien Brown.
Junior Gartner's injured an ankle there. The Sheriff Brian Hollis looking after it. Field's back on the field.
So, Steve on the sidelines, a report on Kosef and Lockyer.
Yeah, a jarred knee to Nick Kosef. They're going to strap it up, and he's going to come back onto the field. And Darren Lockyer has a lower leg injury. It was an injury he brought into the game from last week.
And Jamie Olgenick getting his first taste tonight has gone on to the far wing.
Walker. Webke sending them spraying like 10 pins. Or is it 9 pins? I'm not sure. Lang. Reynolds behind him on the inside. Channeling back in as Campion. The last. Thorne is out wide. Walker's calling it on the left. Langer's gone towards him. There's Walker with it now. He's been beautifully pulled down by Cliff Lyons. Oh, that's a superb tackle by Lyons.
Well, it's a penalty here. A silly, yeah, 10 minutes in the bin here. Is it Walker? You see, the dummy half will pick the football up, and Walker in an offside position just pushes the ball out of his hands.
That's a shame. They'll finish now the night with 11 men, Brisbane. A great ball and tackle from Cliffy Lyons. And Cliffy's looking for a quick play. The ball does that. And Walker involved in that, so he's off for the rest of the match.
Number 1. Tuvey. Tierney's left it behind him. Webke. Driscoll. Langer. Sailor. Ankle. Tapping tackle by Menzies right around the bootlaces. Thorne. And again, Menzies prominent in defence. Some help from Taylor. Langer stepped inside Tierney, 2 metres from the line. Driscoll. Platt. Held it up for a fraction. Smith away. That's Campion. Manly desperately holding them out. And then Hancock tries to bulldog his way across the line. And it's been lost in the play, the ball by Michael Hancock. 71 minutes. Still trailing 5 tries to 1.
Super
and
work.
Good fortune not smiling any better upon them.
Super work from Steve Menzies over near the post. He actually came up with 3 tackles in a row. Made the last one on Alan Langer as well. Started with the Wendell Saylor tackle. That was the first one. Needed to be made. And then he came up with 2 in a row as the ball got closer to the line.
So Manly bring it away from their own line. And it's Tuvey crossing the 20, splitting through. 30-metre line. Sidaris. Lyons. Torrens playing in the centres. Algenik. Lyons again. Brisbane turning it around through Campion. Driscoll. Langer. Saylor on his left. Back for Smith on the right. And that's the 40-metre line just behind them. With about 7.5 minutes of time remaining. Manly comfortable. While the second half certainly not as comprehensive. Keeping in mind that Gordon Tallis was sent off 10 minutes into the second half. Thorne, they're playing with 11 at the moment. Ben Walker in the sin bin. Langer pushing it across for Smith. Driscoll, a dummy half. Reynolds catching and passing. They're not going ahead until Saylor joined the line. Last tackle, Langer. A little grubbing kick, might have came off the legs of one of the Manly players, but it's all over the place. It's a rabble. And we will come back on the other side of this with the scoreline 22-4 Manly. Tierney playing it. Manly by 18. They've lost it, Manly. Which way is he ruling? He's ruled that they lost it. And a chance for Brisbane to pick up some respectability on the scoreboard with a win from this scrum.
It's been a lot better performance by Brisbane in this second half. All they ever need to be competitive in the match is 50% of the football. They've had that in the second half, and that's why they've outscored Manly 4 points to 0. And they're doing it now with 11 men.
All the way to the line. Just to the line. Bring it up, fellas. Bring it up. Back it off, Brisbane. Back it off. Back it off. Get it in quick.
Saylor coming off the right. They stacked the right side of the field, and then Saylor came across from there to run to the blind side. Thorne, Driscoll, and that's Philip Lee. Lions getting involved in the centre of the ruck, shutting down some important plays. Platt. Lee turning it in. Thorne. 5 gone for Brisbane. Driscoll. Manly 13 against 11. Off the feet of Langer again. And that's the turnover. He's ruled that the Manly player didn't play at the football. Coming to you on Sunday, the Footy Show. And a very interesting interview coming up live from Auckland. Gerald Bryan, the chairman of the New Zealand Rugby League, is one of the guests. And no doubt you've heard of the resentment over there. The suspension of Stephen Kearney. Roy Simmons will be on the show. David Waite, Mark Coyne, Bobby McCarthy will be on the show. The Sunday Footy Show at 11 this coming Sunday morning. 4.5 minutes of this game remaining. Manly in no danger. (13-4) the penalties. Manly's way, in stark contrast to the match at ANZ Stadium. 6 weeks ago, when it went something like 16-6 the other way under Bill Harrigan. That's hurt Tierney.
Well, Manly have had some great players tonight. A lot of the credit must go to that man, Neil Tierney. He started the match so well. Some great hit-ups, some strong
Hello, what's happened here?
There's a lunatic on the field.
Yeah, like I see a fan taking exception to the John Plath tackle on Neil Tierney. And hopefully we won't be back to any more rugby league games this year.
Take the jacks up. Makes a better game.
Gardner recovered from that leg injury. Tierney is not showing any ill effects from that previous tackle, which was made by John Plath. And having made the tackle, he took a look to the crowd from where the intruder came from a few seconds ago, just to double check that he wasn't being ambushed again. Field. High kick back towards the centre. And they've lost it, the two of them. They really were doing combat with each other, the Brisbane players. Manly should get it across the line again. Under the weight of numbers, really. And Tierney has copped another one. Has been unhappy passage the last couple of minutes for Neil Tierney. He's been one of Manly's better players. Not that he's been asked to play for 77 minutes. That's the way Bozo's been getting the best out of him. 23 hit-ups in the game and 15 tackles. Now he's in need of attention. Sydney Cup Day on the wide world of sports tomorrow. Don't forget that, and then Sunday we come to you from Penn. Test match next Friday.
And as we thought, tonight's game, it's put the cat amongst the pigeons in some respects, with a couple of players who might have been fringe selections. Have they forced their way into the 17-man squad? It's Craigfield. Great ball to Steve Menzies. There's the try. Beautiful pass from the halfback. And Steve Menzies just ran straight into the hole. It's a shortened defence, but Steve Menzies, he runs holes better than anybody in the game.
26-4, that's their 6th try. They've had 2 disallowed. And watch the finesse of Craigfield. And there's Steve Menzies sweating on it.
And again, it was Steve Renouf in this situation. He had to stay out. He had to have the confidence in the player inside to make the tackle. Had to leave him and stay with Menzies.
Well, Steve Renouf's had a miserable night. And Manly put the ball down for 6 tries. Brisbane 1. Manly have had 2 disallowed. Brisbane have had the 1 disallowed. The prolific try scorer that he is, Stephen Menzies.
Look, I don't know if it is coincidental or whether they have targeted Steve Renouf tonight, but the thing is, if you come in defence in those situations, you've got to make sure that a pass is not thrown. You've got to go in and make sure that by 2 taking 1 attacking player, that's the end of the movement. And it hasn't happened tonight. 3 or 4 times the ball has found the mark and the try has resulted.
And let's not forget this little man who's been self-confessed in that he hasn't been in the best of form. He's been battling against the odds. He seems to have struck home tonight. Craigfield, 28-4. Here he is coming at you, down the barrel of it. And Menzies is there saying, give it to me now. And Menzies puts it over.
And that is Craigfield at his best. Going to the line, attracting players, and slipping the pass. 2 tremendous performers tonight sitting on the bench together.
Been a great night for us Eagles. I've got nothing left. I've got nothing less, Ravs. I'm gone.
Tell you what,
I'll
you're
give
going
him
to
the
need
best.
somebody to do your telephone work tomorrow when you're punting, because I can't understand a word you say.
Did he drop the us any time in the last month or so? Okay.
Silly. Why get on the Titanic when you don't have to be on it? But now, Brisbane sin bin time is up for Ben Walker, but they're not going to bother sending anybody out. Menzies with a fen. Matter of seconds remaining. A memorable night for Manly. Torrens, 17th on the league ladder coming into it. Shot for field goal from Craig Field, and it's waved away. 17 tonight. They will elevate. They played the number one, formerly unbeaten Brisbane. 28 points to 4. Newcastle, they need a victory now against the Cowboys to be sailing free at the top of the NRL competition. Six tries to 1. And McDonald's have got $1,000 to give to the man of the match. That will be with Steve Roach shortly. Hopewadi, Hill, Hunter, Kosef, Hunter got 2, I should say, and Menzies the try scorers. Field got 2 from 6, and Langer scored the only Brisbane try. Well, Manly needed that injection. The crowd wasn't brilliant tonight, but I think that might bring them flocking back. They play South next weekend here at Brookvale. Brisbane beaten 6 tries to 1 after giving Manly a similar and comprehensive beating 6 weeks ago. A bit of relief on the face of Jeff Tuvey. They've copped it from all quarters, and in many cases rightly so. We will take a break and be back with Peter and Paul. They'll wrap it up from Brookie, and Blocker will have the McDonald's $1,000 man of the match for you in just a moment.